in the last episode. This happened. But this meant that I had to go on an adventure to see the wise wizard of the GQ doors. The search was long and hard, and involved death-defying conditions, but eventually the summit was reached, and the wizard was able to cast his spell.
You're a wizard, Harry.
And finally, the curse of the dented doors was lifted. And there was much rejoicing. So now I've got doors. 2 of them, actually.
Now, as usual, I forgot I was making a video. And the result is I've already sanded and prepped these doors, because I know how much you wanted to watch me sand everything all over again. But these doors were absolutely immaculate when I picked them up. They are the TI doors, which means they've got that weird little thing there. They've got different wing mirrors, but they also have electric windows.
This means the V10 will also have electric windows. So this means I'm now in exactly the same position as I was in the last episode, except I now have a tent. So I think it's time I used this tent to do scary things, where right now I'm going to try and do part 1 of my painting escapade. And that involves primer. This is part of primer. Now, in the last episode I talked about using this gun with primer, and I've decided against this idea, mostly because I only have a 1.4mm nozzle for this gun. I also have this gun, which is absolutely crap and looks like it came off the cheapest section of AliExpress. It probably did, but this one comes with different sized nozzles, and I'm going to use a 1.7 with this gun, even though the results might not be as good. But with the sizing of the nozzle, it's going to be more suitable than this one for painting primer. So, this one for primer. This one for everything else.
Guns for show, nice for a pro.
And this one for a surprise later on. Anyway, everything you see here, these things, that other one that's the same, and all these mud guards and whatever that leaf collector thing is on the floor, are all prepped for painting. There's also the rear doors here, and the red doors that you just saw over there. And I'm going to be painting this car in a less than ideal way, because I'm painting everything. That's the interior, engine bay, underneath, all of it. And what I've chosen to do is do all the doors first, and then I'll do the entire body separately. Now this can potentially cause issues, because if I finish painting this, and if I don't paint the door the exact same way, there's going to be a very slight gradient change between the two. But as long as I'm consistent, it shouldn't be a problem. Another thing I'm hoping to be able to do is if there is a problem, I'll be able to blend it later on by polishing the 2 panels. And this will do 2 things. It'll make the car extremely shiny, and it'll fix the possible problem with these 2 different coloured panels. But I'm an excellent painter, so there's not going to be any problem.
A bullshit? A bullshit?
And the first thing to do is upgrade these hooks, because I don't really want to have to buy more doors.
And this is how my day is going to be made or broken. I don't learn from my mistakes. But these doors are about 1/4 of the weight of the other doors, because there's no glass, there's no locks or anything. So I'm pretty sure these bits of string are going to be strong enough.
But that's what I said last time. I've just wiped down 2 whole panels. And I mean, there's a bit of dirt there, but it's not a huge amount. So I mean, the panels are obviously pretty clean to begin with, but this is obviously dirt that would have been in my paint if I hadn't done this. And the last thing I'm going to do in the way of prep is go over all of the bare metal in etch primer, because apparently you're not supposed to use 2K primer on bare metal. So this is basically to put a little bridge between that to help it adhere better, I think. So I'm going to do it. that's all the bare metal covered. It smells a bit funky in here, hence why I have this. Probably going to pass out because I'm holding it away from my mouth now. But now I have scary bit part 1. Mixing all the paint and hopefully spraying an actual coat of primer. Now in the last video I made a fundamental mistake about mixing ratios. I said this primer was a 4:1, which it is, but I said it was 1 part paint to 4 parts thinners. But it's the other way around. So I'm going to mix it in here and put it in here and hopefully have it come out using that 1.7 spray nozzle, which is the recommended one. And the instructions on this paint say you do 2 light coats followed by 2 medium coats. And that's all you need to do. So I'm not really going to make the effort of mixing all this stuff on camera because I'm pretty strapped for space at the moment and I don't want to make a mistake. So I'm choosing results over videos. So now that all the primer's out of the way for that part of this exercise, what happens next? Do I A. apply the base coat, B. apply the clear coat, or C. more sanding? It's C. So to do that, instead of the 120 and 240 that I used to do this thing, I'm going to use 600 grit, because that's much finer, and the whole point of this is to rough up the surface of the primer so the base coat sticks. Apparently. And I bought a lot of these because I predict they're going to gum up quite quickly. Anyway, it's time for a different jump cut because we're traveling in time. And while we're waiting, I'll do some of this. Now this is where things start to get a little bit more confusing. So basically I have to do 3 coats of this base coat, the first one being a light coat, then I have a wet coat, followed by a dusting coat, which is apparently supposed to align all the mystical particles that are found in this paint. Sounds like a gimmick, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then almost immediately afterwards, you apply your but these are the instructions for primers. I need clear coat. I made a mistake. Much better. So if what I'm told is true, once you've put down your 3 layers of base coat, by the time you've cleaned your gun and got it ready for the clear coat, it's ready to apply the clear coat. No pressure. Great, it's fucking leaking.
not bloody bad, if I say myself. Anyway, I can't feel my lips right now, so I'm going to get the hell out of here. After one more shot to show how marvellous my painting is. Imagine what that'll look like with a polish. That's my reflection. White whale, holy grail.